Shadows of the Shroud is coming on September the 22nd. It's adding new Shroud mechanics, Gestalt's pursuing Psionics, a revamped end of cycle, the Mind Warden's enclave, 3 new origins, and so much more. In this video, we will check out the new dev diary, revealing all these features and more. Let's get into it. Pierce the Veil. As was foretold, the Shadows of the Shroud expansion is coming to Stellaris alongside the 4.1 Lyra update, as seers predict that the next great era begins on September 22nd. We then do get the announcement video. Now I'm going to play it in its entirety. Go watch the video. It's very good, but we'll try and break it down, see if we can get any sneak peeks out of it. So we do start with the camera panning to someone lost on the planet. It looks like a planet type we've not seen before. It could be just Shrouded World. Could be new planet types. We'll see. There's also a purple star in the background, which we definitely don't have. And then it goes to the eyeball thing that we don't know what it is, which I believe was from the Season 9 announcement trailer. And then it does change into a statue, meaning it's one of the patrons. And we even see them in the background in the audience as we get some pretty cool cinematics. Everyone's shouting at one of the leaders, and he wants them to remember the patron. So the patron's going to protect them, and they want to attune to the Shroud, which is kind of what we already do. But of course, this is revamping it. And the statue reveals the eye. And he's praying to the Eater of Worlds, which I believe we already have as well. But it looks like it buffs them all, they all start flying, and the statue is alive. We get some more planets that look shrouded, and then the reveal. So not too much gameplay revealed from that, but honestly, go watch it. I probably butchered how cool it is by explaining it. And of course, the release on September the 22nd. Delve into the Shroud. Open your mind and encounter expanded psionic content, including Ascension Path situation, Tradition Tree overhaul, and new advanced governments. Encounter strange new patrons as you attune and delve. Deeds and callings lead to accords and covenants. Auras grow. These are the tools of those who attune. Of course, we kind of knew about it was going to basically include the Ascension Path situation, Tradition Tree overhaul, and new advanced governments, as we've had those in previous ones. The patrons that we attune to are probably going to be the new unique mechanic that we did already have, but they're going to be revamped. There's going to be deeds and callings, and auras grow. I wonder what that could be. We then get a gif of the new Shroud panel, which looks incredible, with the caption reading, "While pledging yourself to a patron is one path to power, other chart their own course towards mastery of the unknown." So let's break this down, or at least try to. We have a radial sort of chart monitoring. I believe that's an empire symbol, and it's kind of moving towards the green as the GIF goes on. We also get a delve button in the top right, where either telepaths can be ready to delve or not. It doesn't look like they click it to move on. So then we have unknown domain. Composer of Strands is 377 out of 1,000, and they do have an envoy assigned to it at one point. They have the Eater of Worlds, 244 out of 1,000, and Cradle of Souls, -2,444. So it looks like these numbers add up to where the Empire is on that chart, and they're currently getting like a green, maybe buff. I'm not actually sure. And then we can see minor patrons open up. So we don't actually see them to start with. They explore the domains to discover more entities in the Shroud. They discover more, and then they find that purple minor patron that shows up on the side. And I guess the eyes close when we're not delving in the Shroud, and you need telepaths to delve into the Shroud. So it's kind of changed it rather than just energy. And then Psionic Aura. A Psionic Aura affects all fleets and colonies within the system it occupied. So similar to what I said before, it looks like there's going to be some sort of system aura effects that's going to affect fleets and colonies. Interesting. I do really like how we're getting a separate panel for it, because just going through event dialogue boxes, I forget what's going on, what's happening. I like the visual representation. It seems like the information's easier to get hold of, know what's going on. And I'm guessing you could hover over the numbers to see why it's minus and plus and how to increase it. I like it. We then also get a bunch of symbols. We got 4 of the domains. So the one missing is that yellow one, which who knows what it is. And then we have the minor patrons as we get the wave one. But interestingly, in the box before, there was only 4 options. So maybe you can only discover 4 per run, and there's actually 8. And then there's 2 that I have no idea what those symbols are. We'll find out. If you're thinking about buying Shadows of the Shroud or Season 9, make sure to use mine or another creator's code or link on the Paradox store. Mine's in the description and pinned comment, or you can use code EP for Stellaris at checkout. It's case sensitive. It gives us creators a kickback at no extra expense for you. You just get a Steam code from the Paradox store, and then you can crack on. Let's get back to more information about Shadows of the Shroud. Many voices as one. Gestalt empires, both hive minds and machine intelligence, will be able to pursue psionic ascension. That's That's right, it's no longer limited to just biological empires. This screenshot we get here is of a Gestalt Psionic Nexus with, I believe those are 2 new civics. They are Psionic with the Cancer position, new portrait, new background too. Gift of the Composer they have, which is new. No idea what that does. It looks like it's kind of genetically thing based on the symbol. Impulse Mitigation, is that new? Maybe. Recovering Telepath Drones, also new. Seems like 2 buffs. Curse of the Shroud, negative. Unity of the Chosen, so maybe you're getting less unity because of the curse and more unity because you are chosen. You know, XT489 identified as psionic. The influence of the newfound powers grow with each day. The vessel of our core intelligent XT489 has recently displayed abilities that could be classified as psionic. After ongoing thorough testing, they've been identified as a class 4 psionic unit. So we have new events for the machines that may ascend, and we also get a presence in the Shroud screenshot. We can feel great entities in the Shroud, but calculation eludes us. Unlike ever-expanding space, their movement cannot be tracked. Their destinations fall back into origins, as though the energies gave birth to themselves. Whatever their nature, they call to us as singularity of thoughts and wills. Among countless voices, we detect one clearer than the rest, insatiable growl that dominates our computations. Perhaps with enough effort, we can reach out to it. XT489 Eliminator, issue special project, commune with the Runeous presence instead of the Shroud. Maybe, will there be different stuff for hives? Or will it be the same? The Shroud can exert its influence in many ways. In the Shroud Forged origin, an architect of sorts has taken interest in some of your drones. Cut from central machine intelligence, the demands of these units are ever increasing. That's so wild that we're getting a machine origin in the Psionic DLC, but there we go. Asterix. The Gestalt Hive Mind Authority requires either Utopia or Biogenesis. The Gestalt Machine Intelligence Authority requires either Synthetic Dawn or Machine Age. Through Shadows of the Shroud grants access to the Machine Intelligence Authority if you're playing the Shroud Forged origin. Synthetic Dawn or the Machine Age is still highly recommended for a more comprehensive machine experience. Okay, so basically this means this DLC does not grant you access to play hives or machines. You need Utopia or Biogenesis for hives, or Synthetic Dawn or Machine Age for the machines. However, if you don't have Synthetic Dawn or Machine Age, you will still get the origin for Shroud Forged origin, which is the Machine Psionic origin, but it's probably going to be very limited. That could go 2 ways. That could be good for Paradox, and people are like, oh, I can try out machines without getting the machine stuff. Or the origin will be horribly unplayable without the machine DLCs. Something to consider there. We then do have a whole host of new civics. We've got the Illuminati Eye for Megacorp or normal empires. We've got tech ones for Megacorp, normal, or hive. So that might be something biologically related if it's not including machines. We then have what looks to be like a portal that go into the nether or the ether for normal and Megacorp empires. Then we have something that looks quite aggressive, but I'm not sure. It just kind of reminds me of teeth for all empires. A broken clover for all empires. Seems like you're just more unlucky, or maybe it's not meant to be broken. It is just a clover, 4-leaf clover, which is lucky. And then a symmetrical psionic looking symbol for all empires. They don't actually say what any of these do, but I like new civics. End the cycle. Powers, knowledge, and wealth beyond measure are yours for the taking. And you already know the cost. A realm of madness. Research into the recently discovered field of Psionics has confirmed the existence of Hif Eto, unseen dimensions of reality, to which our minds are the gateway. Beyond this veil lies a realm of chaos we struggle to understand. From within the depths, a voice beckons. Its promise is not of salvation, but of a new beginning. To wield its unknowable power would be to abandon all we were, and to forge a fate inscribed in the fabric of madness itself. It is time. What have we done? This is the start to the end of cycle, I imagine. Endbringers are a challenging origin that can bargain to delay the inevitable and acquire even more benefits from this unfathomable pact. So it looks like we're getting an origin that plays around the end of cycle, which is huge. I really like that because I never really got the end of the cycle. I don't think I ever got it in a game. This lets you actually force that, which is nice, and play with those mechanics. Covenant formed. Declaration rings out. You know my name. The culmination of our voyage to the stars, the answer to centuries of questions is here. The end of the cycle compels us. Our covenant is formed. The end begins. Pain, withering, certainty. As the words fade, our fate is sealed. We see it now, a galaxy rendered silent, saturated in the inevitability of the aura of the end. There's auras of end, okay? Inevitability awaits. The end of cycle will remain available to players who own Utopia. Shadow of the Shroud will also grant access to this feature in case you do not own Utopia, and exclusive new content that expands it. So the base end of cycle that you all know, still in the game for Utopia, but Shadow of the Shroud is adding on to it. So it's not going to be base what we had before. We then have a new screenshot with the Shroud tab in contacts being reused, but for the end of cycle it looks like. So it looks like we're progressing through clockwise, and each time we progress through, I'm not sure if we need those resources or... yeah, it does look like we need them because they're red. So as soon as we get 10,000 energy, it unlocks that, 9,000 of any or all, 5k energy, 3,000 pops. Is this sacrificing to it? We also have the ore of the end at the bottom with effects, giving minus 30% upkeep, 100% resource from jobs. But you can see systems, 5 out of 591, and it's going up actually. And then there's a bar at the top that's getting closer to the end, is it? What is going on? So maybe the aura can spread and it gives those effects to colonies, but it also gives hostiles extra firepower and less stability and more upkeep. Interesting. So there we're going to be playing around with auras, it seems. Or fight it. Freedom is meaningless without sovereignty or thought. Shadow of the Shroud introduces the Mind Wardens, available either as an established enclave sworn to combat and contain psionic threats, or as a challenging origin where you work to establish the first Mind Warder order. Oh my gosh, we can play as one of the enclaves. I love this. That's the title of the video when I play them. Starting as an enclave. I love that. Oh, yes. I wish we could have that for all of them. Imagine starting... oh, I just love it. That's very unique. Incoming transition. Elder Sock Biskronic. Null Codex. The Shroud can best be described as a dimension of reality that exists beyond ordinary perception. It is composed entirely of harmful psionic energy. It touches every part of our physical galaxy, yet many do not actively perceive it. The Shroud's energies can manifest in the physical realm through the cognitive activity of sentient beings. These forces are extremely dangerous and unpredictable. Ensure your population's safety requires protective measures against the Shroud. To that end, we can provide help. What is the Shroud? We'd like to discuss Shroud. We know of a good psionic target. We need help with crime among us. And then goodbye. So we can find out about the Shroud. Maybe it gives you some bonuses to discovering Shroud, I don't know. Discussing Shroud, maybe you can actually buy Shroud from them, which is huge because some games you don't get Shroud and you really want Shroud. We know of a good psionic target, maybe this spreads that aura that we were talking about, and it's blanked out, so maybe they don't have an aura they can spread. And then you can get help with crime, which actually could be quite meta if it's cheap, so you don't need to work in forces. Yes, I am metagaming. There's a new background, new portrait, and the geometric enclave quarters, which we saw the ship sets last Dev Diary. It looks pretty sick. And there's also a shrouded world in the bottom and a purple hue, so maybe there's an aura in the system too that it comes with. We will see. Shadows of the Shroud expansion includes Psionic Ascension, also unlocked by Utopia. So this is similar to Biological Machine, where you can get the Ascensions by other DLCs, but this is going to improve it. We get 3 new origins, which we've briefly covered. The Endbringers, which is focusing around the end of cycle. Mind Wardens become Enclave and probably spreading auras or something like that. I don't even know what exactly the auras do. And then Shroud Forge, the Gestalt creators. Shroud Forge grants access to the Gestalt Machine Age intelligence authority while playing this origin. There's 6 new civics, and they've given the names of them, so I didn't have to theorize based on the images before. Chosen/Chosen Executives/Chosen Many/Apostle Network. I don't know what image that relates to. Entropy Drinkers, Corporate Vampires, Parasite Caste, or Energy Extractors. So we know it's one of the 4 for those 2. Maybe that's the middle one. Experimental Sentencing, Judicial R&D, and Corrective Consciousness. That's 3 different ones. So that's going to be the Tech Jar one. Secret Societies or Influential Cartel, that's obviously the Illuminati symbol. Superstitious Beliefs, Fortune Enterprise, Zodiac Nexus, Pattern Finders, that could be the Diamond Symmetrical one. Tank-bound/Corporate Think Tank, that is going to be the Think Tank. I have no idea what any of those are going to do. Hopefully we get some teasers in future Dev Diaries, so make sure to subscribe. Enhanced Psionic Ascension situation, accumulating in advanced psionic government forms. We've not really seen too much of that, but it's probably going to do that ticking situation thing that the other Ascensions do. A new system for delving into the Shroud itself, including deeds, accords, callings, and covenants. We have seen briefly what that is. Hopefully we get a Dev Diary going into that more. Psionic auras and seals. So yeah, auras is a feature. It kind of looks like it's giving buffs or negatives, and you might need to spread it somehow. I don't know what a seal is, except for the animal. New patrons and entities to encounter in the Shroud, and expanded content for old acquaintances. So it's just going to expand a lot of the events that we got before. Remember, Abracam are quite good at doing this with Grant Archive and Astral Planes. Expanded end of cycle in red. We don't really know too much about that, but yep, it's expanded. New Psionics species traits. Ooh, new traits. We haven't had new traits since Biogenesis, but before that, we didn't get many new traits. 2 new ship sets, Mind Warden and Psionic. Oh my gosh, we actually get the Mind Warden ship set, right? They look sick from last Dev Diary. I thought it was just for the Enclave. We actually might get them. Oh, yes. I guess it makes sense if you're going to be able to play them as the Origin. I love them. Sonic Diplomatic Room, City Set, Advisor, Music Tracks, and more. Very nice. And then all the government types are here. Looks like this symbol is kind of showing up multiple times. Don't know what it means though. But they look really nice. Revelations come forth. This Thursday, we will reveal more details about the Sonic Ascension situation, explore the Shroud panel, discuss how to influence the relationships you have with the entities you may find, and show off the superstitious beliefs / fortune, enterprise / zodiac, nexus / pattern, find a set of civics. Well, there we go. We get a bunch more information coming this Thursday, so make sure to subscribe for that, and I will see you then. If you enjoyed this, check out what the YouTube algorithm is recommending you to watch, and I'll see you on Thursday.